Well, hello, everybody. This is Frenchie, aka Louis the French Monet, and you are listening to Northern Consultations on Schmoes of the North. With me, I got Soda. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been, as everything so far in 2021, it's been an interesting day.
Yeah, definitely. And on today's rookie draft, Northern Consultations, we have the one, the only Mr. Jacobby Bancroft. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing quite all right. I'm excited to be here. This whole thing has been crazy, and I'm just excited to talk to you guys, I guess.
We're definitely happy to have you here.
All right, and let's go straight into it. Let's not waste any time. We know a lot of important people are watching this right now, so let's go to the meat. How did you discover Schmoedown? How did you discover this world? What was your first taste?
What was my first taste of the Schmoedown? Well, it was a few years ago. I was a big fan of William Bibiani before. He was a competitor and everything. I was a big fan of his work as a critic, really, and I really loved all of his reviews and his work when he worked for Crave Online and everything he did after that. So I was aware of him and I knew his name a lot of the time. So all of a sudden, on YouTube one day I just see pop up on my side, it's like William Bibiani versus Mark Andreyko. I'm like, what's this? This looks interesting. I like William Bibiani. Let's check this out. And then it, kind of snowballed from there. I was one of those first ones. I would imagine like some people, it's like they watch it just for the movie trivia, right? Like they just, because I didn't understand any of these characters at this point or what the factions or who anybody was. So I just skip the promos, go straight to the movie trivia aspect of it. And then slowly and surely you kind of build out as you get to know this world and all these characters. And you're like, oh, okay, now I'm invested. Now I know everything. So it's like it was a big snowball effect.
So you don't have a wrestling background then? You never were a fan or anything?
I'm not a fan of wrestling overall. I mean, I've watched the wrestling back, when I was about 10 or so with my dad when The Rock was wrestling. Obviously I know the big wrestler,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So I really wasn't knowledgeable about the whole wrestling aspect of it. And I thought that was an interesting combination, how they do it and continue to still do it. The story along with pure sportsmanship is just, a lot of fun to watch.
I come from the same background. I'm getting into wrestling, and there's little bits in here and there I watched.
Yeah.
But it took me some time to realize it was wrestling inspired. When did it hit you?
When it was wrestling inspired, I think after it had to be when I saw kind of one of Roka's matches. It's just that's like when you get, it's like, oh, okay, he's playing. This is this larger than life character.
When it comes to that, he's the common denominator. I'm finding. Yeah. Oh, it's wrestling.
Just it's like, I get it now. Because sure, I wasn't a fan of wrestling, but it's like I at least know of wrestling. Oh, okay. I get what they're doing here. I see it. I'm connecting the dots. So,
and now, why do this as a sport? Why not just be a watcher? What drives you to be in the middle of the action, Mr. Bancroft?
Because I'm lanky and I can't play any other sport.
Good answer.
No, but I've always loved movie trivia just as a concept overall. I love that aspect of everything. And after watching the Schmoedown for a bit, it's just like, man, I wonder if there are any groups out there who are actually doing movie trivia, who are actually a part of that and actually do that. And I found out about the fan leagues, and then slowly and surely work your way up there because it's just a super fun thing to do. So I always loved the concept of movie trivia type games are just like my favorite. And I had a connection with it because I love entertainment and I love movies. So it made perfect sense.
Okay. So what was the movie for you that you watch and you're like, okay, I love this?
I just love movie trivia, or I love
what was the movie that was like the spark for you? Or that opened the door for you to love the movies.
We don't only have half an hour.
Shut up.
I gotta pull out my whole list here that I got here. There's so many amazing ones and so many big ones, but you have to go with the movies that, oh man, that change your life as kids, the one that you recognize. I love movies, and I know I just said I was a kid while watching it, but Die Hard, is like the movie that I watched with when my stepdad showed me that movie. It's just like, wow. This movie is amazing. I think when you're a kid, you kind of like what your parents kind of like type thing. And, obviously as any adults, male does, they love Die Hard. So he loved the movie. And as a kid, I was like, I love this movie too. That kind of opened the door to I love movies. I love everything about movies and how they're made and everything about them. So the rest is
that's Jurassic Park for me, because I was 6 when it debuted in theaters. My aunt and uncle took me to see it front row, and I just remember like it was yesterday seeing the T-Rex for the first time. It's like, how did they do this?
Those moments just stick with you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they imprint in your mind.
What about you, Lou? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Now, for me, like just as a fan of movies, like entertainment, wow, I would say it would be, Independence Day.
That's a good one.
But for the artistic and really pushing the envelope, that would be a lot later in life. That would be Old Boy from Park Chan-wook.
Yes. Oh, the original, nice.
That and Requiem for a Dream is two movies I kind of saw in the same area, and that like blew my mind. I understood like movies not just fun, and it has meaning, it has layers. It gave me the first shocking emotions that I've ever felt in a movie.
A few things.
Those have to come later, right? Because when you're a kid and you're young, it's like, wow, these moments are amazing, but you don't understand maybe the depth and artistic behind. If you see Requiem for a Dream when you're like 6 years old, it's probably gonna be a little.
I've seen it when I was 3, so I understand I had issues.
All right, well let's go back to Schmodown though. Now, what are the top 3 things? Because a lot of people, gravitas of like, I'm the best, I'm gonna destroy everyone. But but we would like to know more, on a deeper level, and I'm sure also the managers too. So what are the top 3 things they definitely need to know about you?
What they definitely need to know about me is that I'm humble in the sense that I'm not going to come in here and say I'm the next Adam Collins. I'm going to destroy absolutely everything that everybody in my path, and everybody better watch out. It's like that's just not who I am in general. I know I'm an above average player, and I know I'm pretty good at this. But I think my strengths really come in 2 things. It's like, one, it's my study abilities. It's like when I hunker down and play a match for everything, it's like I really try to barrel down and learn everything I can about this movie, because I take these matches very seriously. And I think overall, another thing is just my ability to work with people. I mean, I love being on a team, and if I was drafted for any faction, I think overall one of my main things would be, it's like, I'm not here for personal glory. I understand that what I'm here for is to help our faction, win overall and defeat all the other factions. So I would want to be a good team player to help everybody in our faction continue to grow, because that's always like the roles that I like, and that's just the type of person that I, try to be.
All for one and all for the glory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little blank right now. Lou, do you have anything?
Now, you never know. I kind of, I think I know the answer, but I would like to see from your perspective, because, characters are characters. If, let's say, Harloff goes to you and say, that Jacobby, I trust him with anything, right? Captain Blanche, you can be a heel, tweener, or face. What do you think you would gravitate towards if there was your choice?
Naturally, like just as I am, because I like to play this game as I am, it's a face. I mean, I always like to be a face. And I think faces work for a lot of levels, because I get the heel aspect, and I love it when there's a rivalry between a good face and a good heel. But I think overall, when a heel comes in hot and then loses the match, that kind of reflects a little bit like, oh, they talked a lot of talk and they didn't deliver. It's like when a face delivers it and comes into it like, I'm here to have fun, I'm here to play this game, and whatever happens. Like, if you win, that's great. You just defeated a great heel in the prospect. But if you lose, it's like, it's okay. There's still a likable enough personality that you want to see them play again and go more. So I just think face opens up more opportunities. But for me personally, and what's within my range, I would say face.
Have you had a chance to talk to anybody? No, I'm not talking managers. I'm talking like, has anybody from the league itself talked to you and, see where you're at?
Like in terms of character and stuff like that?
Or just to kind of get a feel for who Jacobby is.
Yeah. First, I understand it's Jacobby, which I understand everybody says that, so don't worry.
Okay, my name is spelled MathieU, so I get it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, because I talked through like some of the fan league players, the ones who have come up, like I'm kind of friends with them like outside of that. So I think when this happened and overall, when my name was picked on the draft crazily, that I'm still not even sure that wasn't a mistake. So don't tell anybody but I am on that draft. That it was like, hey, how did you kind of deal with this transition? Like, what's it like transitioning from the fan leagues to the major leagues, I guess, and how that goes. So just getting advice from them and kind of talking to, as you said, a little bit of managers just to see what they want and some of the factions has just been overall a blast.
So how did you find out you were in the draft? Literally just woke up and say, oh, holy shit, or did somebody reach out to you?
Oh no, yeah, nobody reached out. Because I wasn't one of those who was, and now like Christian Harloff, was posting those individual players. It's like I wasn't one of those. I was one that was on the big draft list. So there I am, sitting on my couch watching Cobra Kai season 3, and all of a sudden I get a notification on my phone. It's like one of my friends, Malcolm, is like, Malcolm tagged you in a post. I was like, what's this? Like, what post did he tag me? And I open it. And it's like, oh, hey, congratulations. I'm like, for what? And then it's like, oh, there I am on that list. And then I couldn't really finish my Cobra Kai episode.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I was like a little distracted there. So it wasn't like a conversation beforehand. Just like, nope, my name's on the list. I guess I got to get to work.
Now, I'm always interested on knowing the style of the player, because the more the seasons go along, more I realize that there's a lot of types of styles. Like, not one player is the same. There's a couple, but a lot of them differentiate. Like, for example, the kid is a student in the game and a sponge. He's going to take techniques of a lot of people, and he's going to apply that to his advantage. Then you got, the pure knowledge base, which is the Raldays and the Ashides. And then you got, the meme, like, I'll create my own way and do my own patterns like a smasher. So if you could describe in maybe 2-3 words, what is your style of player? What would it be?
Easy going while disarming, I guess is like what I try. I got it into 3 words. Yes.
Yeah.
But I like that general aspect of it. I mean, I like taking this game, fun, because this is a fun game and we should be having fun while doing this. And when I'm up against a player who's trying to psych me out or trying to get in my head or trying to get into focus, if I show that I'm still having a good time no matter what, if I'm winning or losing, that makes them, underestimate me a little bit, that I'm maybe not taking this as seriously as they are, and they'll, make mistakes. And that's where I'll come in and snatch the victory from them.
And do you have another question, Soda?
No, I'm just listening at the moment, trying to figure out what I want to ask.
I'm all over the place sometimes.
So am I. It's been that kind of day.
Now, that being said, for, let's say, just as a what if scenario, right? You would have a full day to have a master class with one of the Schmodown competitors and learn everything A to Z of what their experience was, except for Bateman, Merle, or Herloff. Those are out the table. They're too easy. Who would you pick to have that, master class?
The master class with, because someone who I really respect and who I think had a really bad season last year, but I love the way that he plays the game, is Paul Preston. I like a lot about what his first year. He came in as, I think, a perfect blend of knowledge, of comedy, and of character, because he was kind of himself, but he was making these jokes, and the knowledge that he showed in that first season was amazing. And obviously, he had a tough year last year for both, in the Schmodown and outside the Schmodown, obviously. But just the way that he came in and approached the game is someone that I would just be very interested in having a conversation with and to learn more about, because like that model of who he is kind of, what I would want to be.
Well, here's hoping you two end up on the same faction.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll come up with Paul Preston. I don't mind.
And let's say, all right. I had a question, but it's been a long day too. Like a 6-month-old baby will suck the energy out of you.
I get that, yeah.
Now, for you, what is most important? Because I know you said bringing in points to the faction is something you could bring, etc. But you have these different kinds of players that, if they win, they're really happy, but their main goal is to entertain, right? And then you got people like Roke and Bateman are just in focus and need to win. So which one are you more? Are you more for the entertainment value, or you are more for the sport of it?
I know it's the PC answer, but it's like it has to be a blend of both, and it's because what we rookies need to be at this stage, right? Because everyone who's going to come into the draft and come into the Schmodown next season is going to have to be entertaining enough to make an impact on the fans. But even at this stage, even if you're super entertaining with as many people as there are going to be, you have to win matches and you have to put points on the board. So it's going to have to be a mixture of both in order to continue on in the Schmodown, because you could have a very entertaining match like a few people did last year who were just super fun, but they didn't win, and then we didn't see them again. It's the same thing. It's like if you're super knowledgeable at this point, it's like that's great, but if you're not making an impact on the audience, then you're going to get less matches, and which is what it is. So I would want to find a balance of both in order to, come out on top.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you decide to throw your hat in the ring? It was just because you have experience doing this? Do you feel like you can do it, or just, hey, let's just give it a shot, see what happens?
It was honest. I wish I could say it's like, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get in no matter what because I have the chops to do it. No, but it is more of the second. I'm just like, sure, because I'm in a faction of people in the fan leagues and stuff, and there's a lot of people who I knew who were sending in videos, and it just basically became, it's like, why not? Let's give it a try, right? Let's have some fun with it, and just see what happens. I had an afternoon to kind of shoot something, and I was like, sure. Let's give that a try. And then it kind of, and I didn't really, and I know everybody probably says this, and every Oscar winner says like, oh, I honestly didn't expect this at all. It's like, I really didn't expect this. I really didn't. And then when my name was called, so it was definitely a surprise, and definitely not something, I was expecting.
Yeah, no kidding.
And no, it is, but yet, the stars align, the moment is right. Now, when it comes to the strategy, because this is professionals in the sense that there's things every season we see new, the way that they challenge, the way they position the wheel, etc. It really is on a level that sometimes could be really, really hard to figure out if you're not in that kind of mindset, right? So what are you doing to prepare to up your game to be on that level?
Well, I'd say, what am I doing to prepare? It's a lot of it's just having the history in the fan leagues, because a lot of the fan league matches are kind of organized the same way. It's like, well, you got to do the same thing. You got to know you have to study your opponent. You have to do some research outside to see what they're weak and they're strong in order to what to strategically put on the board in round 2 or stuff. And you have to just generally know game tape of everyone that you're researching. I think, unless you're like an Ethan Irwin, who can come in and probably not study like a whole and just have that base knowledge and not need to study just because they're so smart. It's like, that's great, that'll work. But I will admit, I am not that sort of player. It's like I'm going to need to be a player who does a lot of research and strategy to find out what my opponent's weaknesses are. And it's like, okay, they've chosen this strength 3 out of 4 times before this, and I know I'm going to face something. I should probably start studying that, because more than likely that's going to be on the wheel. So it's just getting into that and mindset, and the fan leagues have been great practice, which is why any of us fan leaguers, any of the fan league 4, as Peggy likes to call us, Peggy Gubbins, Amaru Moses, and Christina, we're all great, and we're all in that mindset to study and go farther.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, and this is not a tribe question. Sure. The league needs all kinds of type of players, right? Yeah. But in your opinion, do you classify yourself a D-lister, C-lister, B-lister, or A-lister? Let's say you had a match tomorrow.
I think B-lister. I think I am a great team player. I think I fill in a lot of gaps. I know a lot of things about a lot of different categories, and I think I would if I was teamed with an A-list player, we would dominate, because I think I could score a lot in round 1 because my general knowledge is high, and then the round 2 categories, I would generally know half the questions or so. I would almost say, and then the A-list partner can pick it up, and then we can go from there. So B-list player, but. No, it doesn't mean that one day I can't be an A-list player because I'm studying like a mofo.
Has that already started? The studying, like, are you waiting till you're after the draft, or you're like, fuck it, let's just get the ball rolling now?
Well, it's a mixture, because it's like, get the ball rolling, but it's like, it's the same thing, right? It's watching movies I haven't seen before. You always have that list of movies that you haven't seen that's like, okay, now I'm definitely going to watch these. Like right now, it's like I realize I have gaps in, I guess this is any opponents watching me. It's like British gangster films, Muppet movies, and classic musicals, right? So I realized those 3. It's like, okay, I'm going to start watching more movies from those ones.
Pretty eclectic trio.
It's like, okay, so I watched a lot of movies in those categories to try to beef it up, because when I perceive a weakness that I have, I want to get better at it. So it's like, I'm not particularly studying for the Schmodown. I'm just watching movies I haven't seen and trying to get through a list.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've seen also different types of personalities and ways of taking a loss, right? You got the Rokas that get really mad themselves and push them to go further. You got people that kind of needs a surrounding, and they're good after, and there's people just doesn't phase them. How do you process, winning and losing, let's say?
It definitely, I'm not going to lie, it definitely, phases me. It gets to me. I might put on a very, happy face, and I understand when I lost. But I think only recently I've kind of discovered that I dwell on my losses a lot. And I think, we go to that thing where we all do at one point. It's like, man, if only I could relive this match one more time. It's like, I know I could have gotten it, and I could have relived that, and I could have done that over again. But I think I've changed my mindset recently, where it's just like, okay, now I know where I made a mistake. Like, I know where I messed up. Now I can learn from that going forward. So when I'm in that position again, I don't make that mistake again. So I think it just comes with the shifting of a certain mindset of just like, I could let it get to me. I could take it really hard and stuff, or I could learn and grow from it. And I've decided recently that I'm going to, try to start more learning and growing from it, because that's healthier for you.
Which is very wise. And luckily you're going to be entering into a group that they're going to nurture that. They're going to help you, and they're going to coach you with that. So that's a very good mindset to have going into it.
Absolutely. It seems like everyone is hardcore, right? Because everyone wants to win, and everyone, all these factions want to come out on top, and they take their winning very seriously. But just from the talks and just generally, you see how these factions are run. It's like they all care about each other, and they help each other grow and become better players, and have fun while doing it. And at the end of the day, that's the point of this all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a competition side. So certain people seem to just be concentrated on that belt. Now, do you have any last questions before the promo, my man?
I do not.
All right, so look, this is promo time. We asked you to prepare a little something. So show the managers what you got, Mr. Jacobby.
All right.
We'll remove ourselves from the screen.
Okay, so just me. Oh, good. All of my face. Okay. All right. I'm here today facing Brother Loomis. Yeah, that's right. Brother Loomis. You know the guy. He's the one kind of blowing up the Facebook page with all those videos about, salvation and repentance and fire and brimstone, all stuff we kind of learned in second grade Sunday school. So thanks for that, Brother Loomis. But really, me facing him today puts me in a very, very awkward spot, because make no mistake, I'm gonna win today. That's a guarantee. I'm gonna walk away with that victory. But that kind of puts me in a bit of a sticky wicket, because I want to be a nice guy. I want to come into this league and have fun and be known as a great face. So the first thing that I have to do is beat a priest/pastor at movie trivia. That's like a big heel move, right? I mean, that's like the 11th commandment. So thou shalt not defeat a pastor in movie trivia. I mean, that's a slippery slope to full-on heeldom. But I got to do what I got to do today. So, Brother Loomis, you better say your prayers, and may God have mercy on your soul, because I'm coming for you.
Right on.
All right, you heard it, man. Okay, so look, this is our little spot that me and Soda will give our predictions, or like our gut feeling of who should draft you, right?
All right.
So I'm gonna actually start with me. The obvious choice for me would have been, like the quirky Mercs, but the more, especially in that, in that promo, it kind of gave me a little glimpse that, yeah, you are a good guy, but you're still down to business, and you're not just all smiles, right? So for me, the Den would be an interesting fit.
Okay.
Now, for me, it would be the Suspects, just because you obviously you want to be a good guy, and they are all good guys. But the thing I learned about the Suspects is they got a little bit of a mouth on them. No offense to the mouthy Mercs, but they've got a little bit of a mouth on them, and a little bit of an edge. And I think you would fit in well with Sam Levine on there.
Huh. I would be happy with either.
Yeah.
Hey, now before we go ahead and close the show, there's one question though we have to ask anyone we encounter. If ever aliens would come down to Earth, and they don't like movies, like we're wiping it out, but they're nice enough to give us 1 week of notice before they go away, what is your final 3 movies as a goodbye?
That's very nice of them to come down to Earth and just like, okay, you guys can have a little bit of time. 3 movies that I would have to watch just for my own sake. I think the first one would be Little Shop of Horrors. That is
musical or original?
Music. I like the musical one, the Rick Moranis one, because I just
the better one,
the better one, absolutely. Because that's been my favorite musical since I was a kid.
Ooh.
and I would just have to hear those songs one more time. I guess I would still have Spotify, but I would like to see it on the screen because that musical has meant so much for me.
Makes sense. Before you go off somewhere that's green, you might as well watch the movie.
Exactly. I think for the other ones, you know what? I might choose a movie. It's not necessarily my favorite movie, but it's a movie that I think lasts forever. That no matter, it's a 2-hour movie that feels like it's 6 hours movies, and that's a Charlie Kaufman movie called Synecdoche, New York.
Okay, that's a really out there choice.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It's not because it's like I love that movie more than anything, but it's because when I watched that movie, I felt like a whole day of my life was gone. So if movies were going away forever, I would want to keep that feeling for as long as I could. So that would satisfy my movie craving. It's like, okay, I get it now. This is a long movie. Then the final movie, God, I would have to stick with my gut and pick my favorite movie of all time, which isn't, I know it's not necessarily a super quality movie. It's 1999's The Mummy. I love that movie more than anything. It's
a fucking phenomenal film.
It's so good, and I watch it at least twice a year. I would say I have to, and every time it's on TV, it's like, okay, got to watch The Mummy. I love that movie, so that would be the movie that reminds me, just like, yep, I'm going to miss movies so much, and I love that choice. One more time.
That is a movie. If they haven't done it already, I can't wait for a 4K transfer.
Exactly. Yeah.
God, I love that. I say it all the time, but this is my favorite question because we never get the same answers. Nobody has brought up any of those 3 movies.
Yes. And like
especially Synecdoche, New York.
I've never heard of it. I'm sure there's a last movie.
The only thing I know about it, it's a Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it. Yeah,
and he's great in it too. It's great.
Yeah, well, he's always great.
Yesterday, I got Sky High, which I was fucking happy too. I love that movie. It's such a guilty pleasure, but I've seen it twice in the cinema. And when when Jacob said it, it was like, yes, someone else loves this movie.
I do love Sky High. Like I just watched that because Disney Plus. It's on there. Or was it even on Disney Plus? Or
okay,
it is on it now. It's just like you watch it. It's like, yeah, because I saw it once in theaters, and you watch it again. You're just like, this movie's great. Like it's so.
I've never seen it.
What? What? We've gone this whole podcast without me knowing that you haven't seen Sky High. What am I even doing here?
I have over 1,400 movies, and you'd be surprised at what I haven't seen.
All right, yeah, because you always know so much. There's always those few movies. It's like, nope.
Yeah, exactly. And whenever somebody says, "Oh, you haven't seen them," like, yeah, you'd be surprised at how many movies I haven't seen. Yeah, I just know a lot about movies.
All right, Jack. We will thank you very much for being on the show. Look, again, like for a lot of competitors, you don't need luck. We know you're gonna get drafted, and we cannot wait for you to get drafted, for your butt to come back to the show and tell us your experience. But that being said, where can people find you, Mr. Jacobby?
I just because since I got put on the draft list, I realized I probably need a Twitter. I haven't tweeted since in 4 or 5 years. I realized I had one, I just never used it, but I'm on there now, again, I guess. So J Bancroft 815, because I'm a big Lost fan, is my Twitter handle, and you can find me there. Other than that, I'm in Vegas. If anyone's in Vegas and wants to come hang out in Vegas,
go Knights.
Yeah, exactly. You know where to find me.
Yeah.
Ed Soda, my man, where can he find you?
You can find me all over the place. You can find me on all the shows on here, on Northern Consultations and Schmodown 9 in Canada. You can also find me over on my other YouTube channel, Get Sweaty, where, again, you can find me on pretty much every show on there. So definitely check that out.
And you can find me on Twitter on the Norn Schmoes, and also on Speaking of Schmodown every 2:30 Eastern Time with my man Jay Wade. It's a sport radio talk show about Schmodown. Basically, we argue a lot. And you can also find me every week on The Frenchie Talks About. So again, thank you very much for being on. And till next time, bonsoir.
Salute.